Monty Python's Flying Circus was one of those rare ensemble shows where each of the individual members was just as funny in their own right as was the whole. This was proven true by the quality of the projects produced by the various alumni after the show ended in 1974. Of these, John Cleese's Fawlty Towers is perhaps the best known among Americans, and for good reason. It broke new ground in British television comedy while leaving the viewers rolling on the floor. But attention should also be shown to Terry Jones and Michael Palin's first post-Python foray, the aptly titled Ripping Yarns. Based upon British Boys' pre-war literature, the parody far exceeded the source material. Mystery, adventure, horror, intrigue, and sports tales were all fodder for satire in the 9 episodes produced. Yet there was a touch of an homage evident as well in Jones and Palin's writings. No matter how absurdist the shows were, the inspirations held a cherished place for the pair. While the two co-wrote the series, it was mainly Palin who appeared on screen, the characters he portrayed being as diverse as the stories told. He would sometimes even take on multiple roles in the same episode, and expertly so. Whether it was as a schoolboy, World War I POW, football fanatic, homicidal maniac, or explorer, he played the parts with equal fervor, giving each a life that was as believable as it was funny. The titles of the tales, with the one exception, did little to belie the underlying humor, imparting to the audience that they really were watching faithful adaptations of the original source material. Curse of the Claw, Golden Gordon, Roger of the Raj, Escape from Stalag Luft 112B, and Murder at Moorstone Manor all reflect titles of the period pieces they parodied. It's only Across the Andes by Frog that intimates something silly is afoot. Based upon tales of discovery, like the Perry and Amundsen expeditions to the poles, Across the Andes by Frog finds Palin portraying Captain Walter Snetterton, an English explorer intent on leading a collection of amphibians over South America's most daunting peaks. Upon his arrival in Peru, he finds the locals more interested in English sports than acting as guides for the expedition. They rapidly listen to the Cup finals, ignoring all else, especially so the captain. The local British agent, Mr. Gregory, played by a youngish Denholm Elliott, is only slightly more helpful, more intent on shenanigans in the bedroom than acting as an interpreter or even as a go-between with the natives. Snetterton's aide-de-camp, known only as the Sergeant Major and expertly portrayed by Don Henderson, proves to be a modicum more useful. Whether it's misinterpreting the locals' word for stop with the words for schoolgirls, or wanting to kill the populace yet later fraternizing to the fullest extent with them, the Sergeant Major may as well have stayed home. Henderson, by the way, would go on to be known as General Taggy, one of the Death Star commanders in the original Star Wars. He would also have appearances in The Island, The Big Sleep, and Brazil, among numerous other film and television roles. The Sergeant Major isn't the only member of the expedition involved with the locals. All but one of the frogs are let loose due to the soldiers being guilty of dereliction of their duties, the lone remaining amphibian being the Himalayan sleeping frog. While trying to restore order and find the missing slimy ones, Captain Snetterton turns the natives against him by shooting up the village radio, depriving them of the Cup Finals results. Snetterton barely escapes with his life and the aforementioned sleeping frog. The episode wraps with the captain resorting to eating the frog, but disappearing after leaving a written account of it. In the end, we discovered that the missing frogs were later seen hopping into Mexico City, affirming Snetterton's aspirations for the doomed expedition. Denholm Elliott and Don Henderson were among a long list of popular actors sharing the screen with Palin. Ian Ogilvy, Roy Kinnear, Isabel Dean, Aubrey Morris, Maria Aitken, and even John Cleese appeared in the various stories. So many were involved that this is just a small sampling of the English talent filling out the episode casts. Sadly, the series only ran for 9 episodes. 6 in the first season, or series as the Brits would call it, airing in 1976 and 77, and an abbreviated 3-episode second season, broadcast in 1979. With the long list of possible stories from the original source material, Jones and Palin could easily produce new episodes today, even if they only took on the writing rather than the acting duties. One wonders what ripping yarns we could see. Maybe Cuthbertson of the High Seas, or Whirling Wickets, or possibly Lovejoy's Infernal House of Horrors. That does it for this episode. Show your support for AlterPast by becoming a patron through our Patreon account. We also draw revenue from the affiliate links in the description. Anything you buy through Amazon after clicking on the link helps us, so thank you in advance if you do so. Regardless of how you show your support, we appreciate all of our viewers and subscribers. Without you, there wouldn't be an audience for our shows. Be sure to subscribe to AlterPast and never miss an episode of The Past You Never Knew. If you enjoyed this episode, give it a like. Your feedback is much valued. Read a more in-depth account of the story in the original blog post at alterpast.wordpress.com. Thanks for watching. This is Will Carlson, and I'll see you in the AlterPast.